What is up, guys? Happy holidays, and today we're going to be talking about the Players Cup 2. The Players Cup 2 is the most prestigious and biggest Pokemon tournament as of right now. So we're going to be talking about all the Pokemon that did well, some of the Pokemon that fell short, some of the most hype and creative teams we saw in the tournament as well. So shout outs to Nimbasa City Post for compiling all of these teams, and a lot of the teams actually have rental codes and pay spins, so check out their website. It's in the description below. And I always love sharing my, passion for the competitive scene. So let's get into the Players Cup 2. So first off, guys, huge congratulations to Wolfe Glicke for winning the Players Cup 2. He's one of the most decorated Pokemon players of all time. He's won every level of event, Worlds, Regionals, Nationals, and now the Players Cup 2. So honestly, what an insane accomplishment. And let's take a little peek at his team. Part of my camera for covering up the Coalossal, but it is a standard Meteor Beam, Heat Wave, Solar Beam Protect. Okay, so the first thing to notice about Wolfe's team is, obviously, it is a Coalossal team. Coalossal has now won both Players Cup 1 and Players Cup 2. So let's ask the question, why is Coalossal so strong? To be honest, I think Coalossal has a lot less work it needs to do in team preview, because I think the team is relatively flowcharty. Like, you know exactly what you're going to lead with the Coalossal team most of the time, just looking at their team, the opponent's team, for just a few seconds. So I think that Coalossal actually requires a lot less kind of big critical thinking in team preview, which gives you more time in game and in team preview to think of a game plan and all that kind of stuff. So I think it makes the team preview phase a little bit easier. And of course, occasionally you do have to make these coin flip, hard read 50-50 type things with Coalossal, but besides that, I'd say the team is honestly pretty streamlined and can flowchart against a lot of common teams in the meta. And then honestly, even if Coalossal is taken out turn 1, Gmax Volcalith is so insane. The residual damage, a sixth of their health every single turn, it really adds up. So I think those are just big reasons why Coalossal is so strong. And then the big standout things I think on Wolfe's team, I would say, is the Will-O-Wisp Dragapult. We saw how much work Will-O-Wisp did in the finals against Davide's Regigigas, excuse me. Like, Will-O-Wisp Dragapult did a ton of work, and then I think that Assault Vest Rillaboom was a really good call. A lot of people try to run Choice Band Rillaboom on these Dragapult teams to really KO those water types, but you kind of lose the ability to have Fake Out when you're a Choice Band, and I think Fake Out just really helps you position Coalossal really well, and Wolfe is a player that loves to position well. So I think that Assault Vest Rillaboom was a great call, and then you guys can see that his second damage dealer sweeper was Moltres, and obviously Moltres is amazing. Life Orb, you're going to do a ton of damage, and yeah, that was Wolfe's winning team. So huge congrats to him for being the Players Cup 2 champ. So honestly, for Players Cup 2, I think a lot of the popular cores that we thought were going to do really well ended up doing really well. I mean, we can see that their Venusaur Torkoal, everyone was scared of that. Got second place with Davide, and then fifth place on Nick Navarre's team. Obviously, Venusaur did good, and then we can see Glastrier. 2 fifth place finishes from the Ice Horse, extremely strong. The Ice Horse is nothing to sleep on. Urshifu Dark, of course, ended up getting second as well. 5th place on Bingji's team, and there's a ton of Urshifu Dark. We can keep going, but performed well. Regigigas, obviously, super strong, got 2nd place. 3rd place, it was on one of the 5th place teams, and then Landorus T ended up making 3rd place, 5th place. So a lot of the Pokemon that we were, scared of did do very well. So that came as expected, but there were a few underperformers, I would say, and the first one was Tapu Fini. Scrolling down the list a bit, Tapu Fini may seem like it underperformed, but honestly, Tapu Fini is a glue Pokemon, a Pokemon that kind of fills the cracks on your team and supports. Even if you are a calm mind, you are a supportive Pokemon in a way. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just not a Pokemon that you build your team around, such as Regigigas, such as Coalossal. Tapu Fini is just not that kind of Pokemon. And I mean, from the cores we saw that did really well, such as Venusaur, Tapu Fini doesn't want to be on a team with Venusaur Torkoal. Coalossal, Fini doesn't synergize very well with that either. You almost will always want the Rillaboom to kill the water types that are threatening Coalossal, you know what I mean? Hyper Offense isn't really Fini's thing. We saw Hyper Offense from, Jean-Paul, and Bingji's teams were Hyper Offense. And then Rain, Rain got 3rd place, and Fini doesn't really fit on a Rain team. So As you can see, the team archetypes that did well at this tournament, excuse me, just don't really mesh that well with Tapu Fini. So I don't think that's, you know, a sign that Tapu Fini isn't that strong. I think it's just that it didn't really fit on those teams. So it may seem like Fini underperformed, but there's a little more information under the hood if you look. Another big thing is there was not a single Metagross in the whole top 16. Metagross was kind of the top dog right at the beginning when Series 7 first came out, and you know, obviously no one decided to bring him through the Players Cup Finals. And I think Metagross is an extremely solid Pokemon for sure. I just think people have wisened up to the old Tornadus Metagross lead. You know, these are the best players in the world. I don't think they're going to get caught off guard by that. And I think that they are all going to have a plan to hard answer Metagross Tornadus. You know what I mean? And I don't think Metagross is quite fast enough to keep up with the meta right now. I mean, he's base 70, so he's not insanely fast. And he's not insanely slow either for like a Trick Room mode to be able to use Trick Room, you know, super effectively. So I think the Metagross kind of struggles in that way. And then I think a lot of the big team comps that we've seen do pretty well against Metagross. Coalossal does well against Metagross if it's not an Assault Vest Metagross. Torkoal Venusaur does great against Metagross. Urshifu Dark punches holes through Metagross, you know, so I think Metagross hitting the bench this tournament made a lot of sense, but don't sleep on Metagross. He's still a very strong Pokemon for sure. And the last kind of underperformer I would say is Thundurus. You know, Thundurus getting Defiant, being kind of the top dog for all these hyper offense strategies. You can see right there, Caleb getting 13th with Thundurus, and he was the only Thundurus user. The thing I don't like about Thundurus and why I think players kind of shied away from him this tournament is that he is very inflexible. Thundurus has to Dynamax to be an effective, good Pokemon. You've got Wild Charge taking a bunch of recoil. Fly is honestly a not very good attack at all when you obviously aren't Dynamaxed. And then you've got Superpower lowering your stats. You're extremely frail. So the thing is Thundurus has to Dynamax to really be useful. And I think players wanted more flexible options in such a high stakes tournament. They didn't want to go all in because if Thundurus wasn't a good matchup and you couldn't Dynamax him, he was just useless. But Pokemon such as Urshifu Single Strike, Spectrier, Regigigas, these are all amazing hyper offense Pokemon that don't need to Dynamax to be good. They can, you know, they can pop off with the Dynamax, but they don't need it to be effective as well. Thundurus does kind of need the Dynamax. So I just think Thundurus's inflexibility is what led to him not being used very much. So for the highlight teams that I want to highlight, first let's highlight Davide's Regigigas team. I'm going to open up the pace now. Here we are, guys, looking at Davide's team. So the Regigigas actually did not have Protect, okay? That is Giga Impact, High Horsepower, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch. Once again, you guys can check out all of this stuff in the description below. Thank you, Nimbasa City Post. But yeah, I mean, this team looks like a standard Regigigas team on paper. You know, you've got the Regigigas Wheezing, of course. You've got that mode that can really do a bunch of damage in the back, Venusaur, Torkoal, and then you've got the hyper offense cleaners, Regigigas, and Urshifu to just clean up the rest of the game. So on paper, this looks like a standard team, but I think Davide had a lot of cool techs and changes in this team to make it really, really strong. You know, Regigigas not having Protect, once again. That led him to have way more hyper offense pressure. You know, the fact that he has 4 different moves he can use to cover more different types. But not having Protect honestly did bite him in the butt in the finals with Wolfe's Dragapult with Will-O-Wisp just being able to burn it and it not being able to stop that with like Taunt and Protect from Wheezing. You know what I mean? And then Regigigas has Thunder Wave. Honestly, that's a really cool hyper offense tech and a way to slow down the team because this is a hyper offense Regigigas. He's got Protect and Magnet to do a bunch of damage and to be able to protect itself. And yeah, and then Torkoal with a pretty standard Burning Jealousy, Body Press, Yawn, Protect. But I would say the real big highlights of this team are the T-Wave Protect Regigigas and the No Protect Regigigas. Very cool from Davide. The next team I want to highlight is going to be Juan Nar's Rain team that he got 4th with. Everybody's been talking about Juan and his Rain team. He's been kicking arse with this. So let's check out the pace. Rain is always a really slept on core. You know, people try to think, oh, is it going to be good? Or a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be really bad. But here we go. Rain getting top 4 in the Players Cup 2. You can't hide from these results. Rain is honestly pretty good. So, I mean, let's go. Swift Swim Kingdra is extremely fast. It can outspeed everything in the meta, including Regigigas, one of the best Pokemon in the game. And obviously, Kingdra's going to be able to OHKO Regigigas pretty easily. Water Stab, that's what Rain does. You know, it wants to hit a bunch of water moves with Kingdra, with Juan's Choice Specs Politoed, which has Muddy Water, Scald, Ice Beam, and Hydro Pump, triple water moves. Yeah, it wants to wash away the enemy team with all these water moves. And I mean, think about all the Pokemon popular in the meta right now that are weak to water. Coalossal, Incineroar, Landorus T, Rotom Heat, Nihilego. The list honestly goes on. Water is an amazing offensive typing, and that's what Rain does. But grass types can be a really big issue for these Rain teams. Of course, you got Hurricane on Kingdra, but sometimes that is just not enough. But you can see that Juan really wanted to cover for that weakness. He's got Entei, a big, strong fire type with Sacred Fire, and he's even got Flamethrower on Celesteela. You know, Kartana could prove to be a really big problem for Rain, but Kartana is going to get roasted by Celesteela and Entei. So Juan did a really good job at covering his bases and covering the weaknesses of Rain, so big shout outs to him. Players Cup 2 honestly shaped up to be a really fun event with a lot of different cores performing well. Series 7 has just been a lot of fun for me. I think it's the most fun I've had in Sword and Shield competitive so far, except for like the first couple months. And I think that this format still has a lot of creativity left. I think there's a lot of Pokemon that people are kind of ignoring right now, such as Rain. Rain could start picking up big time due to Juan's performance. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, how you guys are liking Series 7 so far. I really, really do like it. And thank you guys for watching this far into the video. That's very PogChamp of you. I appreciate that. And guys, on Twitch, we're having a really big holiday special right now. I'm streaming every single day up to Christmas. We're opening some hype TCG packs. I'm hosting a Pokemon game show on Friday. I'm playing in Joe UX9's big tournament he's holding. We're doing a pretty big challenge to Nuzlocke right now. The list goes on. We're having a ton of fun over there, so we'd love to have you. Go drop a follow over on the Twitch, guys. And until next time, happy holidays, guys. Peace.